Danny Gaffon for pro boxing fans in Manchester. It's fight week. Eddie, nice you to join us. Where were you yesterday?
Yeah, I'd done about 12 hours of media on the Tuesday, and I just dealt with all the major interviews on Tuesday and thought I'm going to stay in the office on Wednesday, and then got a lot done. Obviously, I've been travelling around, so I came out for the weigh-in instead, and looking forward to a good night tomorrow. I think it's going to be a really good show, some really good matchups. I know obviously everybody's hyped about and the drama and the noise of Pat Brown. I think it'll be really exciting, but there's some really good fights on the undercard. Good next-gen show.
Pat Brown, as you say, debut, top in the bill. You've been saying he's the next Ricky Hatton, the next star in boxing in the north. Tell us why.
Well, because I think, one, he has that following, a freakish following. I mean, anytime someone's selling, close to 1,500 tickets on their debut for a 6-rounder, we'll have 3,000 in there tomorrow night. It'll be completely sold out. It'll be wild, and it's not just that. The kid can really fight. Like, he's got the amateur pedigree, Olympian. Been a part of major tournaments all around the world, and he's very exciting. Punches very, very hard, and I think the British fight fans are going to love watching him fight, but they're going to love the journey as well. He's a real likeable, working class guy, and I think the public are going to get behind him. We know the city's behind him, but it's a very important night tomorrow night for what I believe is the next big star of British boxing.
With these hot ticket sellers, matching them can sometimes be difficult because people want to see them in with names we know, and then Jamie and Sam, they have a certain pace they want to go at. How do you expect Pat to progress in the first 12 to 18 months of his career?
Solid. I hope he's not as tough as Palacios, who we had in Sydney last week, another fellow Argentinian, but I expect him to be game and he's competent. It's difficult when you're selling a lot of tickets. It is more difficult because on one hand, you don't want it to be a one-round blowout against a guy that's just incompetent, but the second hand, it's his professional debut, and you've invested a lot of money. But someone that, with the qualities of Pat Brown, you can match a little bit tougher, and I think we got it just right tomorrow. Just
away from Friday night, have you seen Ben Shalom on Froch on Fighting? He says the bet's on. He said as long as it's phrased and billed as a promotional bonus between the two camps, then the British Boxing Board of Control will have no issues with it, and he's ready to lay down the million.
Yeah, Ben Shalom had his opportunity and melted on the spot. I knew we couldn't bet, but I just wanted to see his arsehole flapping all over the place. So the British Boxing Board of Control wrote to us. By the way, if I wanted to have a bet, I wouldn't have a bet with him. I'd get better odds from the bookmakers. Ben's the outsider. No, because he did. He asked for 100,000 bet. Chisora brought it up and he went, yeah, come on, I'll do it. I said, make it $1 million. And he went, but now obviously it's, they've got the bit between their teeth because they'll know I'll get a big fine. But Ben's got to worry about paying for his tickets first, and then we'll deal with the bet after.
Is there no truth in that if it's a bonus to the winning camp that promoters can effectively wager on a fight?
I mean, could you find a way around it? Maybe. But, there's enough on the line. And like I said, he's got bigger things to worry about.
Just on Anthony Joshua, I saw Jake Paul post a video, I think it was from a private jet, saying that he's agreed with AJ 2026. I mean, should fans book their tickets now?
I mean, we would agree with it, if I'm honest. I think
Jake actually wants it.
I think Jake's pretty wild in the sense that he wants to create those big moments. He wants to make a load of money. But at the same time, you've got to be careful in this kind of sport. So look, for us, at the moment, AJ's not a world champion. He's not chasing unified fights, undisputed fights. What he's doing is he's looking for the biggest fight possible. Would that come against Jake Paul? I don't know. Would we do it? Yeah, I think he would do it, to be honest. I don't see the point waiting until 2026. Jake doesn't have a fight. We don't have a fight. If you want to do it, let's just get it over with. But pretty dangerous.
Do you think Jake believes he can beat Anthony Joshua?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
I think that comes from the people around him.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, he doesn't know necessarily what. I mean, if you've got someone around you constantly saying, you're unbelievable, like you can fight, you can beat, you can mix it with those guys. But I think he thinks he could be competitive against Canelo Alvarez. And I think he thinks he would be competitive against Anthony Joshua. That's how wild it is. But good luck to him. Delusion is sometimes a wonderful trait.
Simon Jordan's had a say on the fight. He's described as a load of effing bollocks, and then he's referenced you saying AJ's willing to fight everyone, and he said apart from Daniel Dubois. Just a response to Simon.
Willing to fight Daniel Dubois. AJ, this is, we got offered that fight for February, and we said to everybody, AJ won't be ready for February. We're now in March. He's still not ready to start his training camp from his injury. So, AJ's proved over the years that he's willing to fight everybody, and that's really the fights that we want. Of course, we want the Fury fight. We also want Dubois. Who else? Like, people talk about the Parker fight. Yeah, if we can't get one of those guys, we'll fight Parker, or we'll fight Caballero, or we'll fight Wilder, or whoever. But you've got to be honest. Like, with everything that he's achieved, the only thing that I think that Simon Jordan said something. I don't know. This is just what people are telling me, but it's the first bit of, I think the first statement that he's got correct in some ways is that all these guys need AJ. Usyk needs AJ. Dubois needs AJ. AJ's the biggest name, active name in the heavyweight division by a mile. Fury's gone. So we're fine. We can fight whoever we want, whenever we want. So it'll be up to the team and AJ, and he's proved in the past he'll fight anyone.
Sticking with the Simon Jordan theme, I think he done this feature on the Johnny Fisher-Dave Allen rematch and brought up your reaction to Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis, and made some comments about how when Colin Hart passed you were all reverend and stuff and praising him for being outspoken, and then he said but Eddie's willing to rip Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis. I
haven't heard that. If he's talking about Colin Hart, it's disgusting. But secondly, at the same time, I got asked my opinion on their reaction, and what their reaction was, Gareth A. Davis and Spencer Oliver, was, this is a terrible robbery, the fight wasn't even close. I know he won the first 4 rounds and maybe 10. Well, if he won the first 4 rounds and maybe 10, Dave Allen wins by 1 point. So how can you say it wasn't even close? And I like Spencer, I like Gareth, but the overreaction of that scorecard was quite incredible. On the night, that's exactly how I scored it. 5-5. But Dave Allen gets a knockdown. I think he wins it by a point. The 6th round is the only swing round. That's the only round you need to watch. So watch that round, and then whoever wins the 6th round wins the fight, basically, because there's no dispute about 1 to 4 and 10. So, with regards to this joke of a fight, this is the biggest fight British boxing has had, outside of AJ or Fury, since Froch Groves. It's absolutely massive. He's just sick as a dog that these guys are making so much money, and the fight is generating so much money, and you just got to accept it, embrace it, and know that you've got 2 top 10 world guys in their respective divisions fighting in one of the great grudge match of our generation. That's it.
A couple other bits and pieces. New signing to the heavyweight stable, Lenny Opero. So with a signing like that, obviously, amongst hardcore boxing fans, people know how good Lenny Opero is, but how do you justify, the money you're going to outlay on him in terms of a profile building side of things?
Stick him in the fights and let him knock people out. That's it. On one hand, it's like, Matchroom don't have any heavyweights. Then you sign one of the best, most dangerous heavyweights in the world. It's like, yeah, but he hasn't got much of a profile, is he? It's like, does it really matter? The guy's number 3 or 4 with a WBA. He's going to be nice and active. He's going to be knocking people out, and he's going to be moving through the world rankings. And he'll fight anybody. And what we've seen is, with the heavyweights at the moment, particularly with Riyadh season, those guys that are avoided are getting opportunities. Yeah. Frank Sanchez got beat, but he got 2 fights in Riyadh season. No one wanted to fight Frank Sanchez. Martin Bakole. No one wanted to fight Martin Bakole. He's getting opportunities. Even Caballero now. After his win against Makhmudov, normally people will go, actually, just leave Caballero. He's getting fights all the time. And Lenny Opero is the kind of guy that His Excellency will look at and know how good this guy is. Let's give him a chance. And he could be world heavyweight champion.
Any interest in picking up his younger brother? He's quite well respected in the trade.
Yeah, both outstanding fighters, and it was our relationship with Amari and Karib Royale and Box Lab, where I knew he had Lenny Opero. I said, "What are you doing with him?" And he said, "Listen, if you want to get involved, let's do it." And we did a deal over dinner. I was delighted to get him to the stable, and that's with guys like Alexis Barrier, with Lenny Opero, obviously Justice Huni's number 1 now in the world, Terra Moana. We want to build that heavyweight roster as well, and we're off to a good start.
Bam Rodriguez, still waiting an update. We saw the rematch between Aoka and Fernando Martinez, done deal. Does that leave Cafu for Bam Rodriguez most likely?
Cafu is the fight that we've been negotiating, so it's a hell of a fight. there was some discussions with His Excellency and a Ring Magazine event in July. But we're happy to do that fight as well, and it's time for BAM to unify, and we hope to make an announcement soon.
Last one, just an update on the logistics for the Times Square show. Is it all of Times Square? Is it ticketed? What's the story?
Yeah, no tickets. I mean, there will be people there, but not open to the public in terms of tickets. And the team, we're running all the logistics for that event. It's very, very difficult. Frank Smith and everybody, really flat out on it. It's going to be an iconic moment. And who would have thought you'd be shutting down Times Square for a fight? But it will happen. May the 2nd, and we're looking forward to it.
Eddie Hearn, thanks for the time. See you tomorrow. Cheers. Thanks.